Hi everybody, it's Chef Nicole of Meals Without Madness. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Kitchener Market to share one of our most popular cooking classes with you. Even though today we are doing a shortened version as a demo, I am sure you guys will be as excited as I am to learn how to make pasta from scratch. I'm going to show you guys ravioli, which is actually one of my favorite pastas to make because it's just so versatile, and it's actually a great one to make even if you don't have a pasta maker at home. So it's going to be a great recipe that you guys can make anytime that you want to. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to start with is 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. You can also use semolina flour as well, but I just like to share with you guys what most people will have on hand, and that is all-purpose flour. So to my bowl, I'm going to add 3 cups of flour. This looks pretty close to 3 right here. There we go. To my flour, I am going to add a nice pinch of salt. Then I'm just going to make a well in the middle, and we are going to start adding in our eggs. I like to always crack my eggs in a separate bowl, just in case you get any shells or anything like that. It's much easier to take them out of the separate bowl than a bowl of white flour. And we need 6 eggs. So I'm just going to give these eggs a little whisk before I start adding them into my flour. And then I'm going to show you guys how to incorporate it all in. So I've made a little well in the middle, and then I'm going to start adding in my egg. Once I get all of the egg mixed in, I'm going to start to pull in from the sides my flour towards the middle. I know some of my egg kind of left my well, but that's okay. I'm just going to still start at the outsides and work it in towards the middle until it starts to become a dough. Some people will do this right on a cutting board. I like having a little more control when I'm starting to not have to chase it all over the cutting board. So I prefer to start it in a bowl. Once it comes together as a dough, then I'm going to transfer it over onto a cutting board. I do have a 1/2 cup of reserved flour that if I need it, I'm going to be able to add that in if my dough is too wet, or just use a little bit on the cutting board when I'm needing to keep it from sticking. Okay. Once it starts to come together, you're going to need to get in there with your hands and start kneading it. You want to make sure that you get all of the flour incorporated and start to bring it together as one dough. If you have a food processor or a mixer with a dough hook, you can do this right in there. I prefer to do it by hand because I just like feeling the dough and the consistency as I work it so that we don't knead it more than we have to. A little bit sticky, so I'm just going to add the tiniest bit of flour to my board. I don't want my pasta to dry out too much. And then this is great if you need an arm workout, if you're looking to wear out the kids. When my kids were small, we used to make homemade pasta, and I would give each of the kids a piece of pasta to knead, and then they would have their little hands busy. It would wear them out a little bit, and it was just a great way to get the whole family into the kitchen. So I've finished kneading my pasta, and now I'm just going to give it a short time to rest. Let some of that gluten just kind of chill out, calm down a little bit. Today we are doing ricotta and spinach filling with some garlic and some thyme. It is going to be delicious. So let's get started. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a few cloves of garlic, give them a quick chop, and then they are going to go into the ricotta. Ricotta doesn't have a lot of flavor of its own, so you really need to help it out. So I'm just going to give this a little chop. And then once I do that, I'm going to incorporate it into my ricotta cheese. I love garlic. So I might reserve a little bit of this for my sauce. little mince. We don't want to bite into a big piece of garlic. All right, there we go. So I'm going to put a little bit over there. And then just even that out a little bit. All right, so here I have my ricotta and my garlic. Again, some salt. And a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. Love fresh cracked pepper. And then my thyme. So for your thyme leaves, all you're going to do is pull back on the stem and pull off all those leaves. And then they're going to go. I'm just going to chop up the spinach, give it a stir. So I'm just going to chop up my spinach. I'm not going to go too fine because I do want to keep that texture in when it cooks. Give it a little bit of a chop and a dice. Just keep pulling it back together and running your knife through the top. And there we go. And then, as simple as that, we're just going to stir this into the ricotta, set it aside in the fridge until we roll out all of our pasta dough, and then we're going to put the filling in. All right, so we made our filling. Our dough has rested. Now I'm going to show you guys how to roll it out. I'm just going to just show you this piece. We're gonna roll that out. I have a few to show you guys so you don't have to watch me spend all of this time rolling this out. But you're just gonna flour your surface a little bit. We don't want too much because we don't want to dry out our pasta. And then we're just gonna start rolling it out. We want to try and go longer and not as wide. So remember, this isn't a pie dough, this is pasta, and we're looking to get into long rectangular sheets. So we're gonna start out by rolling it. And we're gonna have to get some elbow grease in here. You can see it'll start to get longer. It is gonna take a little bit more muscle without a pasta machine, but we can do it. So you're just gonna continue rolling that until it looks more like this. Okay, this is not gonna be our finished product, but this is just our first roll. Then, to help us to get that more uniform triangle shape, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna fold it in threes. So we're gonna fold this, and then we're gonna fold this side in, press it down so everything sticks together. And as you can see, we're already starting to get more of that triangle shape. And then we're gonna roll this out. My cutting board's sliding a little bit. If you're having that trouble at home, feel free to pop a wet towel or paper towel underneath, and that will keep it from sticking, well, from sliding. We're going to roll this out a little bit more than what it is right now. And then, again, we're going to do that same thing that we already did once. This is our second time. We're going to fold it in thirds. I'm going to press it down. And now you can see, again, we're getting a much more consistent triangle shape. And as long as we continue to roll our dough out in that direction, it is going to keep its uniform shape until it gets to the thickness that we are looking for. Just give you guys a quick look at what those different stages are. So this was after that second fold. You can see it's getting thinner. I can almost see my hand through it, but not quite. That's what you're looking for your dough thickness. And so here we go. I rolled this one out. I folded it over a number of times, and you can see the shadow of my hand through this. I don't want to go any thinner than this because I'm going to stuff it with our filling, and I don't want it to come apart in the water. So I'm going to grab my filling out of the fridge, and we're going to get these stuffed. All right, so what I'm going to do is actually make all of my raviolis for this piece of pasta at one time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little mound with spacing in between. So I'm probably going to get about 5 on here, and then I'll continue it with the rest of my sheets. And what I want to do is make sure I leave enough space so that I can press the pasta down in between so that they're sealed. Okay. So about a tablespoon, maybe 1.5 tablespoons of filling. All right, so I have all of my raviolis so far, and what I'm going to do is take a little bit of water. You do this with egg wash as well. I'm just going to use water because it's nice and easy, and I'm going to actually draw like a little square around each of my mounds of filling. And what that's going to do is allow me to press the pasta down and make sure that it sticks and closes. So now we're going to come over top, and then we're going to press down. And we want to get as close to that edge as possible so they meet up with each other. And then we're just going to bring our finger down in between. And that is going to be one ravioli. And we're just going to continue to work our way down. If you can't match the edges up completely, that's okay. Just make sure you push down really well so that it sticks together, so that each one is its own sealed ravioli. We don't want it to open up in the water when we're boiling it. That would be very sad for someone to get an empty ravioli with the filling floating somewhere in the bottom. So when I cut these, if any of them haven't sealed down, I'll just press it together. Okay. So now I'm just going to take a knife and divide it between each one. So basically this would be one serving. Okay. So 4 to 5 would be lots for each person. So again, you can see I'm just going around the edges, pressing it down, making sure it's completely sealed. I have my boiling water on the stove already. You could use a fork if you wanted to make like a pretty edge, like a pie edge. You could do that as well. I'm just going to keep it simple today and just give it a good press, okay? You could also make these into circles, whatever you would like. So I have my ravioli and I'm just going to put them into boiling salted water. Fresh pasta takes no time at all. So it's going to cook really quickly. Going to pinch together some of the pasta that opened up a little bit, and hopefully we don't lose too much filling. All right, so those are not going to take too long to cook at all. While they're cooking, we're going to make the sauce. So there you have it, guys. Homemade ravioli, like 3-minute Alfredo sauce. I'm just serving it up on a bed of spinach and topping it off with a little bit of fresh thyme just for some added color. I hope you guys have enjoyed the recipe for today. And don't forget, the Kitchener Market is open from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays for all your fruits, vegetables, meat, cheeses, and so much more. If you want eggs to make this recipe, you can head over to OK Eggs, and there is now an online shopping option as well. So you can, again, find that information at thekitchenermarket.ca. Click on the online ordering and you can get more information on how you can get access to all of the vendors' products online. So I look forward to seeing you guys right here online or at the Kitchener Market really soon. Have a great day.